Welcome to the show. It's been a while because I was on vacation. I'm back. We're not gonna go straight into COVID because there was something that I saw on my Facebook. I saw it on my social media moments ago, which it happened last month. It happened in Florida where a teacher spanked a 6-year-old with a paddle in front of her mom because she damaged her computer. Spanking a child because of vandalism, that's not right. You don't spank people because someone damaged because of that. As a matter of fact, this is the list. The 6-year-old was accused of $50 of damage worth of computers at school. Her mother arrived at the elementary on April 13th to pay. She was taking the office of Principal Melissa Carter. The mom doesn't speak fluent English and was confronted by the events. Carter then brought out a wooden paddle and smacked the girl in the behind. The mother didn't know what to do, so she filmed the incident as evidence. She said she sacrificed her daughter to know what was happening at school. She also said she worried that if she intervened in the punishment, she would be in trouble with her immigration status question. And also, corporal punishment is allowed at some schools, districts, but not in Hendry County. That's the whole list. We'll get to the state thing in just a little bit. Wink News reported, who's not been named, said she had caused the damage to school's computer. Now we don't know. That's vandalism. Even if your student causes vandalism in a school, the district has to press charges. The district has to decide to press charges. If they don't press charges, and that's up to them. And this was in the video. And there was a video about this incident. And Florida is also one of 19 states that still allows corporal punishment in schools, but the practice is banned in Hendry County School District, which includes Central Elementary School. And she could face charges. She's now on administrative leave and she could face charges. Her attorney said the state's attorney's office is reviewing the case to see whether they pursue criminal charges against Carter and Celicia Self, the clerk at the school, who was seen in the room in the video. The clerk was designated to translate the mother, but the mother said she was failed to do so. The attorney said that's aggravated battery. They're using a weapon that can cause severe physical harm. Neither the school, Carter, nor the school was responding to requests for comment. And I'm not going to. Corporal punishment is illegal in 19 states: Alabama, Arizona, Arkansas, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Wyoming. But certain school districts in those states have banned the punishment. And in 2011, almost 10 years ago, New Mexico became the most recent state to outlaw the practice. So after all that, she's now being placed on administrative leave. And after she was spanked, the child was hyperventilating because of all this. Why couldn't she interfere? If she would have interfered, she would have perked down the camera and said, "Stop. Stop it. Stop it." It's like, stop it. You don't need to spank. And as it turns out, the mother did not give consent. In some schools where spanking is where spanking is not optional for the parent, for the child. In one school, if if your principal gives corporal punishment, it's not mandatory, it's an option. Not many parents and students realize it. 3 swats, sign a piece of paper, okay. But the question is, why teachers found guilty of misconduct are allowed back in the classroom? Well, it's basically, this is all about spanking and teachers found guilty and teachers back in the classroom guilty. But mainly what we're still going to focus on for half of this half hour is basically this corporal punishment in schools. That's what I want to focus on tonight as we get back to the education, because this month, or June, is the end of our education, of our back to school break. As always, throughout all these seasons, we've been giving you all topics throughout the school. And this principal from the International Business Times was charged with assault, allegedly smacking a 12-year-old student in her buttocks earlier this year, reported to the police. And after all that, the Kansas high school resigns over students' newspaper. And after all that, in 28 states and Washington, D.C. prohibit corporal punishment in schools. 7 states do not prohibit corporal punishment, and 50 states allow corporal punishment. And Virginia is listed in prohibiting corporal punishment. And set to prepare the juvenile and domestic relations on August 4th. So again, if it's illegal to spank in your state or county, it's illegal. You don't go behind the law. Just follow the law. You break the law, you go to jail. That's the whole point here of this, is to say, look, this is what we need to do. We need to make sure that spanking does not happen again. Alright, there's still more corporal punishment, but there's still more corporal punishments to come, and especially one that outrages me. Imagine this. A male student smacks a female student whenever they broke the rules. Stay tuned. Imagine this, for instance. Your school, it's in Texas. There's a rule that says only female administrators can spank female students, while only male administrators can spank male students. Now imagine this. It gets switched around without notifying the school board. That's exactly what happened 9 years ago here in Texas when Taylor Santos got caught cheating. She served 1 day of in-school suspension. After that, she requested a spanking to not go to in-school suspension. They called mom approved, and quickly disapproved because of the bright red. Now, there were photos on this, and I'm not going to show you the story because of the graphic, because of what's happening, but the superintendent there decided to get rid of the same-sex policy. That's because of the campus staff. Exactly. So after that story, she went to. I think she went to the board after the story aired. She went to the board on Monday, and then no one knows unless I were to talk to the Springtown superintendent and figure out her side of the story. Basically, it's too hard. Giving her a swap behind closed doors, that's really creepy. We don't need to be like having female. I mean, we should have the same sex policy. Female employees spanking female students, while male employees spank male students. You get away with that policy, it's going to get more confusing. Try to understand. It should not be mandated. It should be optional for the parents. The parents disapprove it, but then you don't give consent, and they still do it. That's the cause for you to be taking action. Alright. Alright, the Stonewall Giving Brick we return, especially the question, why teachers found guilty of misconduct are allowed back in the classroom. If you're found guilty, you shouldn't be firing. And especially this article from Little Rock, Arkansas that says her son was forced to dig in the toilet by the teacher. Disgusting. We'll look at that article and the question when we come back. About a month ago, a Little Rock mother says her son was forced to dig in the teacher forced the student to dig into the toilet by the teacher, which is disgusting. I'm going to take a listen and give you the facts, because I can't play it up here. I agree. And that brings us to the question. The question is, why are teachers found guilty of misconduct, and why are they allowed back in the classroom? After all, if you're found guilty, if you're found guilty, you have to pay a certain fine, and the judge has to withdraw your teaching license. Every year in that state of Arkansas, the Department of Education finds dozens of teachers guilty of misconduct, but the majority are allowed back in the classroom, and they won't show a permanent mark on their record. And that's a violation handled by the state's professional license standards boards. And they compose 20 members, only 17 voting members, who are appointed by the State Board of Education for a 3-year term. And every year, less than half led to the public actions taken against their teaching license. And that was after the story. So I'm gonna play it for you guys and give you the details, because I can't show it on there. Carla Lester was the teacher who made her student pick up the poop. Exactly. Why protect the rights of a teacher? The Dance of Arkansas. That's what I call it. Exactly. Let's get the point here. There were 106 allegations in Arkansas, over 1,000 allegations since July of 2015, less than handled publicly. And this one, and that's all three. So the point is, if teacher's guilty, then you get to revoke the driver's license, not put them back on the job, and not move them on to a lower school. The system has to work. I'll be back in a moment. There's time for one more. About a couple of days ago, this is principal faced criticism for an incident of running a school. But back in November, was shown on some video removing a student from a bus, and that student suffered a concussion. We don't know what's going to happen next. We'll bring you up to date. That's all of this edition. Give me a break. That's all of this edition of Give Me a Break Monday. We'll see you again. Give Me a Break Wednesday. Have a good night, everyone. I'll see you Wednesday.